So Tam fam, we're in luck because we have some of the biggest names in fitness. Full disclosure, I have said it time and time again. I work out to live longer for my child, not because I like working out. You will never hear me say, oh, I just like spending time at the gym. I don't. And so to get me to work out, you have to bring it. You have to bring the fun. You gotta bring the funk. You gotta bring the joy, or I'm gonna be in the bed. And today, we're gonna meet two people, well, three total fitness phenomenons who really get me going. And I know they're gonna get you going too. First up, I could not even show you a picture of me after one of his workouts because I am drenched from head to toe. Our first guest is fitness phenom Cody Rigsby. Take a look! With more than 1 million followers on social media and a legion of devoted fans called the Boo Crew, Cody Rigsby has become one of the hottest fitness stars on the planet.
You asked for more, so we're going on tour.
With riders flocking to his workouts, not only to sweat, but to hear his hilarious hot takes.
Cody, what are your thoughts on Valentine's Day proposals? Disgusting.
Dubbed the king of the quarantine after his classes became a sanctuary for millions during the pandemic, Cody has earned a cult following.
Because reading's what?
Fundamental.
Now, the 36-year-old Dancing with the Stars alum isn't holding back in his debut memoir, XOXO Cody.
An opinionated homosexual's guide to self-love, relationships, and tactful pettiness.
Which takes insiders on his often hilarious and always opinionated journey to stardom.
I have a lot of opinions. Kevin is the hottest Backstreet Boy. Grape jelly is a crime against nature. A threesome will never, never save your relationship. Same goes for a baby.
In a book that's both funny and fearless, Cody also shares the sometimes painful side of his past with the hope that fans can learn from his roller coaster ride to success.
We shouldn't let the fear of looking stupid or messing up or being judged hold us back from living the lives we deserve. It's not that deep, boo.
Please welcome fitness phenomenon Cody Rigsby! How are you? I love it.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. Give it up. Have a seat. Have a seat.
The audience is looking fly too. You didn't
I
tell me they
know.
were showing
Listen,
out.
we have the best dressed audience
I
in
see
television.
it.
I'm going to say it. So you brought your A game. I love the look.
Thank you.
I like it a
Likewise.
lot, but the purple instantly takes me to this debate that I've had in my head with you.
Okay.
What is your beef with grape jelly?
Oh.
I mean, of all the things you could pick on in the world.
It's just that like any diner you go to, there's always grape first, and it does nothing for me. Like it doesn't have fruit in it. I want the fruit fantasy on my toast. And grape is just giving juice that's like congealed. So
Oh, God.
it's a no. It's a no for me.
Okay, you've won.
Hot
You've
take,
won.
hot take, you know?
You've won the hot take. I may
Okay,
never look at
okay.
grape jelly or jam the same.
Okay, there we go.
Listen, I told my team I was so happy that we were able to get you on because truly, like so many people, you got me through the quarantine. You got me through a lot. And I was like, you know, one day I'm looking for short classes because I start my, you know, you filter out the class you're looking for.
Yes.
I start at 20 minutes. And if I get crazy, I
great.
go to 30. And so I'm scrolling and I find a class. I started taking, and I was laughing and sweating and it just felt so right and so good. And then this memoir came out and I said, so much of what you do makes sense. The joy you bring to the rides because of your history. You said when you came to New York, you worked just about every job imaginable. Give us a list of the few.
Okay, I worked for a startup company, then I worked at TGI Fridays in Times Square, selling that Jack Daniel's sauce. We did retail in Soho. Cater waitering all over this city, holding glasses of champagne. I worked at The Box, which is a very interesting nightclub in the Lower East Side.
Yes.
Worked in marketing. I was just trying to make a buck to pay my rent. So.
And then the universe conspired.
Yes.
And you heard about this company. You'd never done any fitness training.
Yes.
You even worked on being a backup dancer at one point for Nicki Minaj.
So yeah, it was all those small jobs led up to my backup dancing, which was such a big part of me, and I got to dance for Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj.
You know I'm a Barb's. So
Oh, of course.
When I learned that, I was like, we are made in heaven.
Yes,
I'm a big
yes.
Nicki Minaj fan.
Nicki's the greatest of all
Yeah.
time, you know?
And so you did all these jobs, and then you end up in a job you never saw coming.
Yeah. I kind of was done with dancing. I was like, universe, God, Cher, whoever is listening, put something new into my lap, and they delivered.
Yeah.
And Peloton, I was working at the box. Someone that worked there had a connection there. They were like, hey, we're looking for performers who are into fitness. I was like, I'll take it. I'll do it. Sent in my headshot, my resume, got an email, went into audition. 20 minutes later, I had the job.
It's amazing. It was meant to be.
Yeah. Divinity.
You write a lot candidly about your journey, including being openly gay. And you said in the book that there was an internal battle that you had as a boy with your sexuality. You wrote, imagine that every time you think about sex, you're also thinking about how wrong your feelings are and feeling guilty about desires you can't control. It caused a lot of stress and anxiety. I now know trauma. And I feel like that's why you are so committed to passing on joy. We all have trauma. It's a different thing and it's defined differently. But if you walk this planet, you're gonna go through something.
That's what life is about.
That's what life is about. And writing this memoir, was it cathartic? Was it a relief? What was the goal? Because when you write that last page, you have a goal.
Yeah.
What was the goal?
Yeah, it was a very cathartic process. You get a lot of emotions out, some of it being really vulnerable and deep because you go through life's traumas. Like I dealt with my dad dying at a young age, my mom was an addict, we dealt with homelessness. Of course, growing up gay in the South in a very conservative space was really hard for me. But also what I do so great at Peloton and what I wanted to bring to this book was levity, fun, knowing that you can go through hard things, but at the end of the day, you win by laughing at life, by smiling, by bringing joy to others. And that's what I wanted to infuse in these 220 pages.
But you unpack a lot before, every point of it, there's fun. Even in the difficult stories. And going back to what you said about your mom and your childhood and your mom, Cindy, struggling with addiction. I want to play an excerpt that you discuss your life as a child. Let's listen in.
When I was 6, my mother put me in the backseat of her car one evening and drove along a bunch of poorly lit streets into a sketchy neighborhood, where we came to a stop at an underpass. A thin man who was missing a few teeth approached her window. I couldn't understand why we would talk to this guy, but the next thing I knew, my mother was rolling down her window and handing over cash. Looking back, it's obvious that she was buying heroin, but all I knew at the time was that something felt weird and unsafe.
I mean, your mom, Cindy, is doing great now.
Yes.
And talk about a full circle moment. She now lives just a few blocks from you in a home that you bought for your mom.
Yeah. When you say it, it just brings a lot of joy.
It does.
Like you get lost in the sauce
I'm crying out of
life.
happiness because I know how, hearing you and I visualize this kid in a car and not knowing what's happening, and now seeing this young man, and you give the keys to this place in New York, and we know it's not cheap to get a place for somebody at your own place, and then it's your mom, and she's been through so much. You're opening that door because of your hard work and her not giving up.
Yes.
It's a beautiful story.
Thank you.
It is a beautiful story. When she sees you now, first of all, does she do the bike rides?
She gets on it sometimes, yes.
She's like, I'm out. She's with me. Me and your mom. In fact, on Peloton, you have a username, and I refuse to give my username because you will see how poorly I did. So I'm not. It's easy to figure out my username, but I will never tell or confirm that it's me.
Okay.
But just look for the lowest number in your class.
Hey, you're still showing up, though. You're still showing up.
I took a week off, but I'm gonna get back in there. But I love also that this book is dedicated in some part to Britney Spears.
Yes.
Before the show started, we were playing a lot of Britney, and you write a love letter in many ways to her. We see her now on her own. We did a show on people who were inspired by Britney and found their voice through her music, and now you're among those.
Absolutely. When I think of Britney Spears, I think of like the TRL era of life, music videos, and that was a really low point in my life. Like, me and my mom were really broke. We were living in a hotel. We were going through homelessness, but I would go to work with her where she worked at this bar after school, and I would watch TRL, and I would learn the like "Oops, I Did It Again" choreography, and I'd always have those CDs
Yeah.
to enjoy and like bring me out of the
Escapism.
dark
Yeah.
to escape. So like even in a low point, Britney's music and performances was also like a place of joy for me.
But that's exactly what you do. You know,
Yeah.
you talk about what Britney did for you. Right now, millions of people log on for a bike ride, but you're giving them so much joy
Absolutely.
and inspiration.